In my opinion, tackle selection is absolutely critical when it comes to consistently catching bream on lures. It's one of those styles of fishing where seemingly minor and incremental improvements in the performance of your fishing gear can actually result in much better strike and catch rates. That's mostly because we're trying to cast little lightweight lures accurately over reasonable distances, something that's much easier to do with quality tackle. This is especially important when it comes to choosing rods, because as far as I'm concerned, the rod is the most critical component in the bream catching equation. So spend a couple of $100 and get yourself a decent rod. Now, I make no apologies at all about being a dyed-in-the-wool Shimano man. I've been using their gear for well over 30 years and I trust it. So you're only going to see Shimano gear in my video, but that doesn't mean that you can't use other gear. But if you do, choose a reputable brand and select gear from the mid to upper end of their range. You want something that's light, sensitive, well balanced and built with quality componentry on a high modulus blank. That simply means a blank that recovers quickly and crisply when it's springing back straight after being bent. You do not want a soft, sloppy rod that bounces up and down for several seconds after being loaded and released. I've used so many different rods over the past 25 years. When I first started out, we had to get them custom built because there just wasn't anything available straight off the rack that ticked all the boxes. These days, luckily, all that's changed and you can buy some great rods straight off the rack. But like I said, don't be afraid to spend a few bucks on the rod. It is the most important part of the equation. Today, I mostly choose Shimano spin sticks from their premium ranges like the Anarchy, T-Curve Premium, Zodias and Poison Adrena models, but they've got new stuff coming out all the time. I mostly look for ultralight and light spin rods rated for lines between 1 and 4 kilos and suggested casting weights from a gram or two up to about 10 or 12 grams at most. As for length, I must admit to preferring slightly longer rods than some bream anglers. Way back when I started spinning for bream, the average light flick stick was 6 to 6.5 feet long, under 2 meters. Over the years that's gone up, and my favourite lengths for bream luring rods these days are between about 6 feet 10 inches and 7.5 feet, say 2 to 2.3 meters. Sometimes I'll go even longer, up to almost 8 feet, especially if I'm looking for extra casting distance or I'm wading the flats and walking the bank. There are really no significant disadvantages in going a bit longer, and I reckon they let me cast that little bit further and also give me a bit more line control. But look, you choose something that suits you between that 6.5, 7.5 foot length, but make sure it's a good rod. If you love catching bream on lures as much as I do, you won't want to miss part 2 of my free masterclass on this fascinating form of fishing. In it, I take a deep dive into the gear and the techniques needed to become a truly successful bream fisher. Click the link with this post or scan the QR code on the screen to check it out now. Tight lines.